All right. This is the David Washington Show. I'm your host, David Washington. I am broadcasting from the beautiful state of Florida. It's the evening time. I'm here in Florida at Washington South on the balcony, enjoying this beautiful weather. Please excuse my sniffles. I think I have like a little sinus trouble, but hey, the show must go on, right? So, we're talking about the special election House District 35, that's East Orange and East Osceola counties. And you must admit, if you're following this race, you must admit that we're genuinely surprised. Before we get into that, congratulations to Tom Keene. He is your Democratic nominee for the general election, House District 35 in January. Congratulations, Tom. Well earned, and you're gonna knock their socks off in January. Good luck to you. All right, saying that, let's start with Tom. And Tom, I think this was his last hurrah. Tom has run for office in the past, and you know he's persevered. He's been consistent in his messaging, and this campaign was not as aggressive as his past campaigns. And people thought that because it was a little bit low energy, that he was going to come in last place. The Orlando Sentinel endorsed, it was kind of like a backhanded endorsement of Marushi Guzman by a hair. Over full transparency here, our client, JNW's client and friend, Rishi Baga, and Tom was just pretty much also ran. But Tom pulled it off. He did it. And the numbers are still rolling in. We're still taking a closer look at how it occurred. But I do want to tell you just anecdotal information. Tom spoke to an electorate that he connect with, an older electorate, a reliable voting electorate that came out, was familiar with his name, and voted for him. And his votes spread across both counties. And we'll talk a little bit more about that when we talk about Rishi's campaign. But he dominated, seriously dominated, in Osceola County, the suburbs of St. Cloud, essentially, Narcoossee. Dominated. Good for him. That's what you're supposed to do. He did what he needed to do here in Orange County, and he won. He had a complete strategy of working both parts of the district, East Orange and East Osceola, and it paid off. Now, his win was by approximately 42 votes, similar to Rishi Baga's win in 2022. But now Tom is the nominee. More power to you, Tom. Congratulations. And we'll do a deeper dig into how the win was made. Let's talk about Marushi Guzman. Whew. Where to start? Let's start with her husband, because that's when you Google Marushi Guzman, right there, it says husband. Yes, Coach P. Coach P. Renee Placencia. Ran her campaign, was intimately involved in her campaign. And there was a lot of support of her campaign by her family, by those associated with the Guzman Placencia family. And as anecdotal information is coming to me, it did not help that Marushi Guzman was not did not really, get people excited. Um, she came off as a little bored, kind of off-putting, not really engaging. That's the word. When seen in public and public debates or forums or the television debate, she just wasn't engaging. And despite all the endorsements, particularly outside of the district, and I want to talk about that. But despite all the endorsements, it didn't help. Now let's talk about those endorsements. The endorsements by all the state elected officials who uh, jumped on board and supported her campaign. Just because some Freedom Leadership Council or whatever of, has been Democrats who won elections decades ago, but when you look at it, are irrelevant now, handpicked to be their nominee. And after that coronation of Guzman, names from across the state started to fall in line. And that in itself was disappointing, especially for someone who allegedly did not live in the district, someone who was not engaged with the local Democratic Party. And so for all these outside electeds to jump on board and support her, it was kind of a hypocrisy. It was hypocrisy for someone who's never been engaged with the local Democratic Party, as far as I'm aware. Never. All of a sudden, she's coordinated as your Democratic nominee. And that's what pisses off longtime Democrats like me. That's what pisses off newcomers to the party. That's what pisses off loyal Democrats who aren't necessarily attached to the local party, but stay aware, stay involved at some level, whether in a caucus or volunteering. And throughout the campaign, I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck were you thinking? What kind of message does this send to Democrats like Tom Keene, who was an officer in the local Democratic Executive Committee, the treasurer, who have given service to the local Democratic Party, decided to run again? And you don't reward his service to the party, but you find a way to say, this person right here, she checks the boxes for us. Maybe this person will raise money for the party. Does it really boil down to that? I think it does. And that's the problem with politics. The elites, the old boy network still exists, it looks like. And that's disappointing. That's very disappointing. Ruthless. Ruthless. I get it. I really do. Get more women involved in politics. Yes, She was your candidate. Yes, you lobbied for her. However, you have allies in Rishi Bhaga and Tom Keene who support the values of Ruthless. And this is not the first time that a candidate is chosen by Ruthless to join a group of candidates to run for office and eventually upset the fruit cart. I'm sorry, fruit cart. I don't know. I do long for those days. I've said it before, where the Democrats have said, "Hey, this is our candidate. This is who we're going to back. Good luck, everyone else, but this is our person," like the Republicans did on the other side in the Republican nominee race. They poured a lot of resources into the campaign of Erica Booth. She is now your Republican nominee for House District 35. The disappointment weighs so hard. Where's the vetting? Did you know that Guzman was a registered Republican in 2016? That's not too long ago. Her very close proximity to Republican values. Did you not take that into consideration? The Leadership Council, Ruthless? Where's the vetting? I mean, really, where is the vetting? We got a lot of work ahead of us in the special election in 35 in January. We have an election that's going on during the holidays. The Democrats were by 700 voters, approximately 700 voters. The Republicans came out at higher numbers than the Democrats. If this means so much to you, Democrats, to keep that momentum going from Jacksonville, what happened to the turnout? What happened? I understand that Tom is looking for a campaign manager. He was without one during the primary. Very grassroots approach. But now is not the time to look for a campaign manager, an experienced campaign manager. There are very, very few people, let alone campaign managers, who has experienced a special election. I remember doing one. 17 days we had. 17 days we had. Special election, House District 44. Eddie Dominguez versus Bobby O. The vote by mail ballots were already out. Early voting was starting. Despite those votes already on their way into the supervisor of elections office, we won election day. That's never happened in West Orange and in House District 44 at that time. Never. But we did it. We won the votes on election day. That's typically the day when the Republicans come out to vote, as they did in House District 35. So let's talk about the Rishi Bhaga campaign that, of course, I am intimately aware of because we managed that campaign. And are we disappointed? Yes, we are. We are disappointed with the outcome. There's no doubt about that, because we were confident that we would win a very close race. However, we did not. And as we look at the numbers, there's one number that is glaring, and that was the vote in East Osceola County. Team Rishi came in third, and we lost. We lost East Osceola County by well over 100 votes. Essentially, we really had no strong strategy to garner those votes in East Osceola, and it hurt us. It hurt us. The vote was incredibly close in Orange County. The last time I checked, it was like by 12 votes. But when you have a deficit in East Osceola, which we knew would be our Achilles heel, we needed to do better. I don't have the final numbers on the turnout, but it was abysmal. But for a special election, you gotta expect it. Was disappointed that the turnout compared to the Republicans is very concerning for the January 2024 election. Who votes in January 2024? This is going to be very, very difficult. For the Democrats to continue, for the Democrats to keep that blue wave going, keep the momentum going from Jacksonville, they need to win this. They need to win in January. They need to win during a time when people are not paying attention to politics. It's the holidays. It's going to be rough. It's going to be difficult. But that doesn't mean that it's going to be impossible. I'm going to touch on this election again. As the numbers come through, we'll probably talk about it in our flagship program. You Can't Make This Shit Up. Maybe again in the David Washington Show. Perhaps during Countertop Politics. Countertop Politics, every Monday, 5 minutes of campaign insight, innuendo, and of course, the secret sauce. Okay, the sun is coming down. I can barely see myself in the screen here. I really appreciate you tuning in, being a part of our network, being part of our community. Please comment. Talk about what you want to talk about. Give us some ideas. Give us some topics to talk about. I thought about talking about, relationships, more social economic things. I may talk about the Democrats and the black vote. We'll see. But at the end of the day, we want you to share your thoughts with us and have that conversation. Respectful conversation. Bring your facts, not your feelings. And please let your friends, family, those politicals you know, to tune in. Share our content. We really, really appreciate it. And don't forget, we have the Informer newsletter. It's available on LinkedIn. Just go to our our LinkedIn page. It's available there. Also, you can contact us on our website and we can sign you right up. We're tweaking things so that people are aware of the Informer, also our socials and website. It's a good thing. So again, thank you once, thank you twice, thank you 3 times. Really appreciate it. I'm David Washington. We are your political innovators here at JM Washington. Thank you.